I'm Christine Lisi. Perhaps a return home will change things up for the two-time defending Stanley Cup champion Lightning. After dropping the first two games of the final by a combined score of 11-3, Tampa hosts Colorado in Game 3 tonight, 8 Eastern on ABC and ESPN+. The Warriors capping off the celebration of their fourth NBA title the last 8 seasons with a parade through the city of San Francisco today. Golden State looking ahead, set up nicely to add a few more titles, in the opinion of Pelicans guard C.J. McCollum.
Steph Curry is always going to be able to do what? Shoot. Klay Thompson's always going to be able to shoot, right? That doesn't age. Maybe the lift's not the same, maybe the quickness isn't the same, but the way they play on and off the ball with split post cuts, Draymond, he's banging. He's always going to be able to use his mind. He's always going to be able to defend. He's always going to have that motor. Those are the type of things that travel well and age well.
C.J. McCollum on Get Up. The attorney for Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder reiterated today Snyder would not testify before Congress June 22nd, despite a request from the House Oversight Committee to reconsider. Snyder's attorney said he's out of the country at the end of the month. The committee is investigating the team's alleged toxic workplace culture.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Temple. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. This is I love Mondays. This is a 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag type of day with so much I have going on. And I'm going to be very honest with you to start. Not that I'd ever lie to you. I had every intention of starting the show talking about another LSU baseball player entering the transfer portal. I had every intention of starting this show talking about LSU football, nabbing a 4-star commitment, a 5-star quarterback prospect changing his commitment date. We've got so much to talk about by way of Saints rosters, the NBA draft coming up this week. The College World Series is going on as Auburn has just hit a bases-clearing double off the wall to take a 4-2 lead on Stanford. But I am talking about none of that to begin the show. This was on the rundown at 5 o'clock, but there is no way that I could possibly wait 2 full hours to bring this to you, our dear audience. It is a magnificent, historic day in the history of this show and this radio station. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, for years there has been one primary complaint that I have had in working at Guarantee Media. You all know what it is. I need not even say it, but I will for the benefit of those who might just be finding us for the first time. What is it? What is it, Muse? What is it?
The chair.
It's a freaking chair! For a decade, I've had to put up with chairs. Chairs that break, chairs that squeak, chairs that fall, chairs that just... But today, this chair, one of many pieces of... Bleep me, Muse. Bleep me. It's gone forever. Forever!
Uh-oh. We're getting the big reveal here. Matt has left the studio. He's thrown a chair out of the way. He's left the studio. Look at this.
What do you got in the chair?
It's pretty good, too. It's more of a bar stool, Matt.
Excuse me. This is my moment. My moment. Excuse me, Muse. As I sit upon my throne. My throne. Oh, it's wobbling.
Oh, no.
No. It was on the wooden beam back there. But you know what? We can do away with the wooden beam back here now because there's no chance of tons of fun wheeling a chair into the TV.
That happened. I witnessed it.
Well, it's nailed down, so we'll have to move it later.
Yeah. No.
Excuse me as I sit upon my throne, my chair, chosen by me, for me, an ergonomic meshed back, a padded, comfortable seat upon which I will rest my bottom. Arms not too high, not too low, just right. And a bar stool chair that will not drop, will not swivel, will not squeak, will not do any of the things that have been the bane of my existence for nearly a decade as Gordy Rush has trolled me with this chair fiasco since well before I had hair. If I think back in the grand history, the 13 years almost that this station has been on the air, I got to choose the first chair. And it was glorious. It was a padded leather bar stool, deep cherry oak with the 104.5 ESPN logo stitched into every one of them. But then a bunch of no good gosh darn weekenders came up here and used bar stools like they were recliners, broke the damn arms off of them, and for the last decade now, I've had to deal with an awful chair situation. Gordy thought this was funny, so you know what he did? He goes to a freaking estate sale and gets these banker chairs from 1973, this brown cloth nonsense. You want to go back and listen? You'll hear and clanka, 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 because the little foot pedal thing, it wasn't attached. Anytime you move, clanka, clanka, clanka. People are like, what is that noise in studio? It's a chair! I finally complained, and this is my moment, Muso. Not letting you talk right now. You can have your moment in a moment, but this is my moment in this moment. Channel your inner Paul O'Neill right now. The Klanga chair. Complained about it enough. You know what Gordy did? Do you know what he did? Do you know what he did?
You said not to talk.
So why are you talking? He brings in these director chairs. And they're not even like good director's chairs that you'd see on the set of a movie. They weren't wood, they were cheap metal, probably aluminum. The cloth on them was probably an old t-shirt. They could barely hold my weight. I'm not a small man, but I persevere. We move into this fine studio. They make a large capital investment into building this beautiful studio, and they actually got new chairs. And I thought the problem was solved, but no. Those were the chairs that began the conundrum of dropping and dropping and dropping. And no matter how much I complained, my calls were not heeded. And then the embarrassment started because every guest and every host in this studio started complaining about the same thing. And finally, Gordon Lyndon Rush III said, fine, get new chairs. And our operations manager, Chris Elliott, went and bought new chairs, but there was one problem. You remember what it was? Do you remember what it was, Muse? I'm asking you a question. Do you remember? Why are you talking? He bought chairs that weren't tall enough for the set. And so then they went and got another set of new chairs. You know where they are right now? Do you know, Muse?
I don't know.
Stop talking, Muse! They're in the room next door being unused because there were piles of crap and they would never stay up. Like an 80-year-old in need of Viagra. The chairs couldn't stay up, Muse. And I begged and begged and begged, and finally, I searched. I chose. And today, the chair situation, once and for all, until some no-good oversized weekender comes in and breaks these. The chair situation, once and for all, it has been in this moment. There all has fireworks going on, or had fireworks on the screen. The chair situation has been resolved. This much I assure you, dear listener. You could go, good boy, let people see the fireworks. One thing I assure you, that for at least this show today, at least one show, you will not have to hear me mention the chairs again. Because today, an historic day here at Guarantee Media, for at least a day anyway, our chair conundrum has been solved. Alleluia. Amen. Peace be with you and with thy spirit. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. New Kansas head baseball coach Dan Fitzgerald joins us next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. 4 different places to go check out their full greenhouses. Something to keep in mind, because you're right in the heart of the summer, it's probably not the best time to try to do a complete overhaul. You might want to wait for the fall on that, but this is the perfect time if you want to add that pop of color to your lawn, to your garden. If maybe you have that outdoor area by the pool, you want to add some flowers in your flower beds or your flower pots. Great opportunity to do that. And a lot of us right now, about this time of year, especially with it being so hot, you may have some brown or yellow patches showing up in your yard. Could be a good indicator that you got a bug problem in your grass. If that's the case, Clegg's can help you with that as well there at your lawn. 4 locations. Buy local, shop local, tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle. It's an easy and stress-free process. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not 1, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us here on this Monday edition of AFR. It has already been a very eventful couple of weeks of this offseason for LSU baseball. Players entering the portal, transfers coming in, and now two full-time members of LSU's staff, the first under Jay Johnson, have become head coaches. Among them, of course, is Dan Fitzgerald, who is the new head coach at the University of Kansas, who's good enough to join us now on the show. Coach, we appreciate a couple of minutes. Belated Happy Father's Day. How are you?
I'm good, Matt. How are you doing?
Fantastic. We appreciate a couple of minutes. What was Father's Day like for you there in Lawrence?
Yeah, it was certainly an eventful weekend and eventful week, and it was good, bittersweet, really, really hard to leave LSU, and we became a part of the community here in Zachary quickly and have great friends, and our kids love it. And working at LSU was beyond a dream come true, and working with Jay was the greatest ever. So bittersweet, and at the same time, a incredible opportunity to lead a program and do it in a great league and do it with great people. So bittersweet. Certainly excited, and at the same time, wish we could have had more time here too.
Sure. I want to talk about your year in Baton Rouge, but let's look ahead a little bit first. What was it about the Kansas job that was so appealing?
Yeah, I think it's a few things. I think in terms of wanting to, you look at the Power 5 leagues and the number of jobs that actually open in those leagues, and then ones where you really feel like your thumbprint sits on it. And Lawrence, Kansas, I'm from Minnesota, I've coached in Texas. I feel like north, south, east, and west of Lawrence, I've recruited at a pretty high rate. I've just spent so much time there. And then two, I think just the people, Travis Goff, the athletic director, kind of a shared vision. And then really feeling like just able to do something that's really never been done before there. And, again, super hard because it's what we're leaving here. But I think it was just the culmination of people and place and kind of a shared vision and thinking that, gosh, it's something that we can do something pretty special. So it just checked all the boxes that way. And, but it's like every other move I've made, it's people, and it really lined up.
You're going to have to deal with winters again. Being from Minnesota, I know you've dealt with that. You certainly did not have to deal with that here in Louisiana. I would assume you're prepared. You didn't throw away all the snow boots and winter coats.
No, we still haven't used them in a while. Barely used them in Texas, and we'll have to bust those out. My kids were excited to hear that it would snow, and I thought it's really funny when you grow up in the South, you look forward to snow, and when you grow up in the North, you look forward to heat. So, but yeah, we'll have to adjust to a few more road games early in the year.
Dan Fitzgerald's our guest here, new Kansas head baseball coach. What about the challenge of going into the Big 12, which obviously has so many historic baseball programs, two of which right now have made it to this College World Series? Just an area obviously, but adjusting to coaching in the Big 12.
Yeah, a great league in a changing league too. I think with OU and Texas joining the SEC in a couple years and a few new teams coming to Big 12, I think it's a changing landscape. And I think the interesting thing is going to be how the portal plays out and how quickly we're able to address needs that we have immediately. And but everyone's saying that. LSU is doing that. Every team in the country is using the portal right now to address things. So it's a great league, but I think it's a league where if you take care of business, starting in the radius around your campus and moving out, I think you can put together good teams. And I think there's something going from Dallas Baptist University, a small private, to a place like LSU where you have theoretical fence around your state where you can keep players at home. I think the goal would be to do the same thing at KU, where Kansas kids are coming to the University of Kansas, and we start our own pipeline there and then move out. So, a great challenge, a great league filled with great coaches. But honestly, Matt, this, every league is good now. I go out recruiting right now, and you see every coach in the country. I think it's such a competitive landscape everywhere. So it'll be a great challenge, but one we're certainly fired up for.
If you had to pinpoint a few lessons or things that you learned in Baton Rouge, maybe that you didn't know prior to your year at LSU, what would you say?
Well, I think it starts with, there's a feel for the history, and there's a feel for the tradition, and there's a feel for the fan base, just from the outside in. And, heck, I've got the Auburn-Stanford game on in the background here, and there's a couple dudes in the first row wearing LSU gear. Like the name brand, the fervency, and just kind of the history. The first time I met Skip was, when you're a baseball coach and you're around, you're around big leaguers and guys that have played in the big leagues. You're around that all the time, so it's kind of rare to be starstruck, to be honest. And all of a sudden you're with a guy like Skip, and you're like, this is Skip Bertman. And then, your 20th conversation with him, he was so good to me and just so kind, and I learned so much from him. And you start to get this tangible feel of really what it means to be a part of LSU. So I think the big takeaway was that, yes, the tradition, the 6 national championships, Alex Box Stadium, Tiger Stadium on a football Saturday, but it's so much more than that. It's the fabric of the community, and some really funny things that happened over the course of the year. I was at my son's little league game at Zachary, and had a fan. I was showed up late to the game. Was wearing an LSU baseball shirt, and the guy was like, "Gosh, man, I really hope they can get it together tomorrow night. Last weekend was rough." And
he had no idea you were a coach.
It was so funny, man. It was so funny. And then I said, "Yeah, I really hope we can kind of get back on track. We got a chance to do something special here these last 2 weekends." And by the end of the conversation, the dude was like, "No way, I'm so sorry." But it's awesome. Like, it's awesome. It's kind of what you're signing up for. But it's just a tangible feel. Like I feel so fortunate. Feel like I'm a part of. And again, for a year, I wish it was longer. But you feel like you're a part of something that very few people can relate to, and it's a tangible feel of. Put it this way: it's a culture that is absolutely unmistakable, and I don't think you could really understand it unless you were a part of this community. And it was a dream come true.
Got a couple more for you in your time. Much appreciated. Dan Fitzgerald is our guest, new head coach at Kansas after his 1 year in Baton Rouge. When we started, you said working with Jay, which was just the greatest. What about working under Jay Johnson made you say that?
Well, I've known Jay for a long time, and he was the assistant at San Diego, and I was in my first year as the assistant at DBU. So Jay and I got to know each other on the recruiting trail, and I can say being with him and talking to him 10 times a day on the phone or whatever it was over the past year, whether I'm on the road or we're in the office together, just the countless hours spent together. The guy's the same guy now that he was back then. He has a genuine humility. He has a genuine others first mentality. He is a far better. He's an unbelievable human being, and genuinely, the way he interacted with my sons, the way he and Maureen were to my wife, and he is an unbelievable human being. He's fair. He's very clear on his expectations, and he's incredibly supportive. He's always asking, hey, how can I help with that? How can I, something to recruit? Hey, who do I need to talk to? Who do you need me to call? Who do I need to do a Zoom with? Like, there's just an others-oriented piece to Jay Johnson that's different. He's a special leader in his ability to articulate vision and then support it, and then also really the humility is I think it's a pretty rare trait when it comes to as much success as he's had and how great of a leader he is. His ability to say, "Hey, what do you think we should do here?" And up until the very end, like at different points in games or in the hotel putting a lineup together, like there's just a genuine humility to, have some group think and how are we going to do this together and how do you think we should go about this? And ultimately, he's great at making the final decision, but there's a genuine humility in terms of wanting input. And then ultimately, that's just an unbelievable human being. So work, I think when you work somewhere new, there's a little bit of a trying to feel the expectations, and there was just a total level of, hey, I'm here to support you, and anything I can do as the head coach to help you do your job and help you as a person. I mean, he's just a fantastic human being. So every minute was awesome. I loved every second of it.
Well, if there's one regret, man, it's that you helped put together the best signing class in the country, and you're not going to get to see these guys play at LSU. There's a lot of guys who I no doubt are going to sign pro contracts. But if you left LSU fans with a little nugget about this class that you helped design and build, what would you tell them?
I think I'd leave it with again. It goes back to a lot of great skill, a lot of great talent. Guys can run and throw and hit field and all that stuff. But more than that, I think we nailed it on the competitive piece, on kind of the grit factor, and there was a consistency to the class in terms of the quality of you talk to a high school coach of one of these guys, and before they talk about their skill set as a player, they talk about what a great teammate they were, and they talk about how competitive they were. And so that's the thing that I'm most excited to follow and to watch these guys next year. And someone did ask if KU and LSU were going to play, and I said absolutely not, under zero circumstances, unless we're forced to in the postseason. Zero. I have no interest in playing against them. And but I think it's a really gritty group. I think it's a tight knit group. And then that was a cool part for me, is as you're putting the class together, you got to see how they became tight. And we brought all the signees in, the majority of the signees in on the same official visit weekend, and to watch those guys, we were at Top Golf and watch them hanging out together, and kind of a very fulfilling moment as a recruiting coordinator to say, gosh, they're kind of already a team. So hopefully the draft doesn't take all of them, but it's going to be a special class for sure. And couple that with who Jay is as a coach and the staff that he'll put together, the Tigers are in really good shape.
He is Dan Fitzgerald, Kansas head baseball coach, Dan Fitzgerald. Coach, we'll be watching. We wish you all the luck at KU, and thanks for some time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
It is our pleasure. Dan Fitzgerald, could he have been any more complimentary in the way that he just described Jay Johnson? That alone, as an LSU baseball fan, should give you a tremendous amount of confidence. And then obviously the class as well that he helped build. But, you look ahead and you also say, man, that's a guy who after 1 year at LSU had an opportunity to go be a Power 5 head coach. And he saw the vision of an athletic director there and the opportunity to do something at Kansas, which has never been done, which is win at a very high level in baseball. So he'll have that opportunity there at KU. So we appreciate Dan Fitzgerald. Jay Johnson assembled himself a really strong staff. And I know we talked about it a lot last week when Dan Fitzgerald got the Kansas job, when Jace Kelly got the Washington job. That's part of what's going to happen. You hire young, ambitious, talented assistant coaches, they're going to get hired away. The challenge is then to go find another young, talented, ambitious coach to help build upon that foundation, which is there. So we appreciate a couple of minutes here from Dan Fitzgerald. Thanks for being with us. It's a Monday edition of AFR. We're presented by Relief Windows. Otter's going to be with us at the end of the show. We'll get Colucci's pick for tonight's hockey game. I did text Otter on Saturday for Colucci's pick. Gave you the Avalanche. 7-0. Oh, thank you very much. Rocking chair cover. Dudes are out here just trying to help you pay for your kids' college. That's all they're doing. So we'll have a little Otter locks here at the end of the show today. Let me knock out a quick break. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We'll go around the SEC when we come back next. Dan Fitzgerald's the only guest that I had booked today because I just have a ton of stuff that I wanted to delve into. So we're going to get to all of it here over the next 2.5 hours. So glad you're here as well. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers. Monday is an awesome time to get by Pluckers tonight and every Monday. Remember, Monday at Pluckers, every Monday, all throughout the year, all you can eat wings. Pay one low price, eat as many wings as you want all night long. So, it's, of course, also the best place to go watch sports on TV. Now, you got 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Voted a top 10 wing restaurant in America by USA Today, a top 5 sports bar in America by ESPN. It's just dynamite. You get the best wings. You get wall-to-wall TVs, draft beer. It's incredible. It's Pluckers. You got another College World Series game tonight. Of course, a winner's bracket game tonight with a little SEC flair. Should be a really good one tonight. I'm hoping it lives up to the billing anyway. Auburn looks like they're about to polish off Stanford. So watch some College World Series, Major League Baseball, NHL Finals. You want to watch all of it in one place, eat as many wings as you want for one low price? That's at Pluckers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet,
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we'll go around the SEC in just a second. Say hello to the fellas. Muse, how was your weekend? You good?
Weekend was good, man.
Good. Watched a lot of baseball, I would assume.
Absolutely. And golf, yes.
Oh, well, we'll get to that in a little bit. Did you hate the NBC broadcast, like many seem to?
Indifferent.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I hated it.
All right. Paulie, how was your first Father's Day? First ever Father's Day for our guy, Paul O'Neill. How about that? Way to be a guy, a man who has produced offspring. This day's for you.
Thank you. It was good.
Good.
How was yours?
Man of many words, that Paul O'Neill, I tell you what. Mine was wonderful, thank you. Sat around by the pool all day, had Erica's whole family over, did a whole lot of nothing except watch the College World Series, golf, ate some good food, had some beverages by the pool, got a lot of sun. It was a good day, very good day. So glad, belated Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hope you did nothing and just had a really good time. College World Series, Auburn beating Stanford right now 6-2, their bottom 7. Interesting day, man. So Saturday provided, I think, one, maybe not an altogether surprising result, but the count is what was surprising. Arkansas beat Stanford 17-2, beat the holy hell out of them. We were Bourbon Society Baton Rouge, shout out. We had a bus tour to New Orleans on Saturday. So left Baton Rouge, went to Sazerac House to Avenue Pub, to Urban South Brewery. Great day. Shout out to David Steele and all of our friends at Bourbon Society Baton Rouge. It was an awesome day, really fun time. But so we were doing that all day. I just didn't get to watch any of the games. We walk into Urban South and I look at one of the TVs and it's like 11-2 in the 8th. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? But Arkansas just pounded Stanford 17-2. And then Ole Miss, I mean, the heat check, right? Ole Miss beat Auburn 5-1. So now Auburn's playing Stanford in the elimination game. A&M, of course, already has eliminated the University of Texas, doing so yesterday, which had to feel pretty good, I would imagine, if you're an Aggie. So A&M just actually beat the crap out of Texas 10-2. And then the other game that was a little bit of a heat check was the winner's bracket game yesterday, where Oklahoma beat Notre Dame 6-2. So that's I was a little surprised by that result because we've talked about the two teams that felt the hottest coming into this were Notre Dame and Ole Miss. Well, Notre Dame, got checked yesterday by Oklahoma, and I think today I'll be very interested to see if Ole Miss can keep it going. They'll have Hunter Elliott going on the bump for him, the freshman lefty who's been fantastic. Here's what Hunter Elliott had to say at his media availability before the Arkansas game.
You really got to pitch to them. You really got to make pitches. But obviously, just like any team, they're pitchable if you do execute your pitches and have your best stuff, you can beat them.
I know we've talked a ton about it, but Ole Miss, their season really, of course, they were number one at one point in the country. Their starting pitching just didn't pan out. They went unranked. They were the last team in the field among the at-large teams. But the way they put it together late was moving Dylan DeLucia from the bullpen into the starting lineup and then Hunter Elliott into the weekend rotation. And the freshman lefty has pitched like a guy who's ready to be a dominant ace for that program for years to come, which is not a great thought. But that's going to be Ole Miss Arkansas tonight. That feels like, obviously, look, it's the winner's bracket game on that side of the bracket, so obviously it feels like it's a massive deal. It is. But it really feels like whoever wins that game is going to advance to the finals from that side of the bracket. So Ole Miss, Arkansas tonight, 6 o'clock, scheduled first pitch. We'll see if Auburn can close out Stanford here. They're leading 6-2. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Schedule that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. He's awesome. Did my LASIK. He could do yours. Maybe you're not a candidate for LASIK. Maybe it's PRK. Maybe it's that lens replacement that we talk about often. No matter your age or your refractive issue, give yourself the gift of sight. You're tired of having to hold a piece of paper really far away just so you can see it or read it. Tired of not being able to read the menu at a restaurant when the lights are low, or reading street signs when you drive, or just waking up in the morning, be able to see the bedside clock. It's possible. Williamson Eye Center makes it happen every single day. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Just go for that consultation. at the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Auburn Tigers.
All right, a lot of football. Auburn has added a transfer defensive end, Marcus Bragg. He's a redshirt senior, will have 1 year of eligibility remaining. He played the last 3 years at Western Kentucky, 6'4", 260. So he's an edge rusher who's going into Auburn, who has now added 10 transfers since the end of the football season. Auburn's 2022 class ranked 21st nationally, but they've added to it today.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Will Stallings, he's a 3-star running back out of Bishop Gorman out in Las Vegas. He's committed to play at Tennessee. So he's 6 feet, 222, committed to Tennessee on Sunday. Had more than a dozen offers. The number 11 player out of Nevada, but he's also a top 100 linebacker for 2023, although Tennessee is recruiting him to play running back. So he's Tennessee's 10th commitment for 2023. Picked the Vols over Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Pitt.
The Florida Gators.
Florida's 2023 recruiting class picked up a Father's Day commitment from an offensive lineman from there in Ocala. Tommy Kinsler, 6'6", 330. He's a tackle, a 3-star, ranked number 964 in the country. So not a hugely regarded guy, but a local guy from the Ocala area. The 85th best offensive tackle in the country. Gators now have 6 commits for 2023.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Jalen Aboram, he's a 3-star defensive back. He's committed to Mike Leach's squad, 6'2", 180. He's the 7th commit for the Bulldogs class of 2023. The number 112 cornerback in the country, the state's 22nd best prospect. Chose Mississippi State over Indiana, Colorado State, Louisiana Tech, and Memphis.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And one more, safety Christian Ford out of Texas. He has committed to Arkansas. 6 foot, 185-pound defensive back. Chose the Hogs over TCU, Minnesota, Nebraska, Colorado, Arizona, and others. Interestingly, though, despite the fact that he had interest from a lot of Power Fives, he's not ranked in the 247 composite. So maybe with some of that interest, he gets a ranking at some point. But safety out of Texas, Christian Ford, will be a Hog. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're just the best. Call Trey Beal and the gang over there. Let them take great care of you. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, Lafayette, and remember, they are the official office equipment provider. The LSU Tigers, the ULL Raging Cajuns, the New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Pelicans. They support the local teams as well. Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, it's after further review. Stanford looked like they had a little bit of something going there, but got a runner picked off at second base. So Auburn one out closer to advancing and sending Stanford back to the farm. I mean, interestingly enough, of course, Tennessee, the number 1 national seed, didn't make it to Omaha. Oregon State, the number 3 national seed, didn't make it to Omaha. And Stanford, the number 2 national seed, on the ropes here in an elimination game, just a hair away from being 2 in Q. They're in Omaha. So we'll keep you posted if and when that game goes final. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break here of hour number 1. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. When we come back, we will talk a little bit about the U.S. Open, but less about the golf itself and more about all of the ancillary stuff that surrounded it. And in 15 minutes, about 16 minutes actually, right at the top of hour 2, I do want to talk about LSU's quarterback room. This is a conversation that's not going away, but I'm going to paint a pretty interesting illustration of how the perception of LSU's 2022 quarterback room has changed in about 12 weeks. And that includes, by the way, thoughts when they first got the Jaden Daniels commitment to now. You'll understand. I'll get to it in about 15 minutes from right now. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
All right, y'all. Inflation is there. Everybody's looking for ways to save money or make more money, give themselves a little bit of relief financially. I tell you every day, let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop independently for free to see if they can get you better coverage for less money. This is a policy that Adam just wrote, the homeowner's policy for a listener named Doug. Saved him $1,000 annually. Originally called in for auto insurance quote. Those numbers look good. They decided to run his homeowner's insurance, and they were able to get him better homeowner's insurance and saved him $1,000 a year. Y'all, it's so worth a call. The only thing that you have to lose is whatever amount of time it takes to call and let them shop for free. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. Stop overpaying to be underinsured. Insurance Network of Louisiana.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2021 Jeep Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators on our lot now with $5,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Dad!
Kids have staked out their place at Auctioner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Dibs!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Auctioner Health Center for Children.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information,
Further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
A couple of weeks ago, we talked about a story where ESPN.com listed the top remaining free agents in the NFL and their most likely landing spot. And they paired Ndamukong Suh with the New Orleans Saints. And it's something that I would completely endorse. Suh's 35 years old. He has never missed a game due to injury. Missed 2 games after he stomped on Andre Giroud's face back in that was Albert Hainsworth who did that. Anyway, Suh was suspended, I think back in 2011 for a couple of games. But anyway, that was the only time he ever missed a game, was due to suspension, not injury. So a guy that's been productive, been available throughout his career, and a position where the Saints need depth. That's one step closer potentially to happening. Adam Schefter tweeted today, Ndamukong Suh was on NFL Live, which I guess is happening while we're on air. I can't listen to it or watch it live. And they asked him what might be there in the future. He said, quote, "It looks like the Bucs are out of the picture." But Suh says he would like to continue playing. So Ndamukong Suh is said on NFL Live, looks like he's not going to be returning to the Bucs, but he wants to keep playing, and that is a spot where the Saints certainly need bodies. We'll get more into that a bit later in the show. As a matter of fact, actually about 30 minutes from right now, we're going to talk about that, about free agency for the Saints and look into other roster spots where they could supplement. And some of the current Saints free agents, guys that were on the Saints last year that are still free agents, who might be possibilities to return. Quan Alexander is the most notable that everyone talks about. We'll get to that here in just a quick second. U.S. Open, Matthew Fitzpatrick is your winner. Fitzpatrick, after his championship, here's what he said about becoming U.S. Open champ.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's just the feelings out of this world. It's so cliche, but it's stuff you dream of as a kid. And to achieve it, I can retire a happy man tomorrow. So
retire a happy man. Young guy, but he is now a major champion. His first career win is a major championship win, so good for him. Muse, did you watch all of the U.S. Open? You're a noted golf nerd.
Not all of it, but I mean, I was steady flipping back and forth between that and the College World Series.
All right, what did you think yesterday?
Really good final round, man. I mean, looked like you were destined for a playoff. Great shot by Fitzpatrick out of the bunker on 18 to seal it. I mean, heartbreaking missed putt by Zalatoris, but
bro,
that was.
You want to know why it was heartbreaking?
Why is that?
I had to play on Zalatoris.
Oh, no.
That's the only reason I care.
That sucks then, doesn't it?
It wasn't enough for it really to matter, but like we talked about it with Ott last week. I've learned how to golf bet listening to Ott's show. Because I asked him point blank, I'm like, I hear you guys pick like 5, 6 golfers. Like, how do you make money when you're betting on that? And he basically was saying, like, take whatever your bet would be and split it into, pick 5 golfers and bet the even amount on those 5. So if you're going to bet $100, put $20 on 5 golfers, and you're still going to be in the profit if one of them hits. So Zalatoris was one of the ones that I had, and well, it would have been nice, but whatever.
Looked good the whole way, man.
Yeah, but what didn't look good apparently was the NBC coverage. Twitter hated it, but then again, Twitter hates everything. Apparently, I missed this. There was a point in the final round where Scottie Scheffler made a birdie to move him into first place, and they didn't show the putt live, and so everyone knew it had happened, and they came back and showed it later. Did you notice that when it happened?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your thought when you saw it?
It's pretty poor. I mean, this is the number 1 player in the world.
Yeah.
For crying out loud. And he just tied, which would have been his second major win of the year, and you missed it. That's not good.
But you know what is good? Their theme. Again, the U.S. Open theme, it dusts the silly, stupid Sleepy Masters theme that everyone seems to think is so great. Which is actually, as we noted last week, not a good theme song.
You noted
it's
that.
It's boring and stupid and sleepy.
Your opinion.
No, that's you want to take a nap on a Sunday, that's what you listen to. You want a sound machine to help you sleep at night, you play the Masters theme. This right here, this. Bro.
It's great. I'm not disputing that.
Right there, that point, the triumphant horn. I want to go play some golf right now.
You're
fired up to play some golf.
Bomb it down the fairway.
In particular, if we got to play in the Live Tour, because boy, are they churning out some cash. Did you see Barkley on the McAfee show? This has gotten some attention. Here's what Barkley said on the McAfee show Friday about the guys in the Live Tour.
Don't judge other people. Listen, if somebody gave me $200 million, I'd kill a relative.
All right, that's it. I'm not sure we can do anything else after that. I don't know what the next question would be, but we appreciate the hell out of you, Chuck.
Hey, I'm serious. Hey, they said Phil Mickelson got $200 million and Dustin Johnson got $150 million. Hey, for $150 million, I'll kill a relative, even one I like.
Yeah. How about you put Chuck doubled down on it too? He hit the punchline the first time. McAfee was gonna move on. He's like, "All right, Chuck, we're done. We'll let you go." He's like, "No, wait a minute. I'm serious. Even one I like." I love Charles Barkley, dude. He's
a beauty.
Charles Barkley can say whatever he wants because he doesn't care what you think, and so he can say anything as controversial as possible, and nobody will ever peg him on it because he will never apologize. He does not care what you think. And when that's the approach you take, you'll say whatever. That's why people love him. He's hilarious. But I'm not going to give you some super hot golf take. I don't think you're here for me giving you super hot golf takes. Twitter hates everything, so it's not surprising they didn't like the U.S. Open theme or the U.S. Open coverage. I love the theme, really cool. It's always kind of a Father's Day tradition. Put golf on, see if you see something. Maybe 50 years from now, we'll be talking about Matt Fitzpatrick winning his first major at the U.S. Open, or maybe it'll just be another one that we forget about. But hope all the dads had a great Father's Day yesterday. I know I did. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a break here. We'll come back. Sports Center will get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, how the perception of LSU's quarterbacks have changed in just about 3 months. Stick around.
AFR.
New week, great opportunity to remind you about the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Remember, all this month at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, just $149 will get you your initial blood labs and 10% off your first round of supplements if we're talking hormone replacement therapy. If you want to feel like your younger self. I mean, I describe these symptoms a lot, and I think it hits home with a lot of men. Not only men, but women as well. Do you struggle to sleep at night? Do you wake up and you don't feel refreshed? Do you struggle to build muscle, burn fat? You haven't struggled with motivation to get into the gym. Even if you get there, you're not getting results. It's just the natural part of aging. But hormone replacement therapy is a solution that can help, that is a possibility that can help. Simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, voted the nation's best aesthetic practice. They're right here in Louisiana. Theantiagingclinics.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Avalanche with a chance to put a stranglehold on the Stanley Cup final in Game 3 tonight against the Lightning. Colorado's up 2-0 has outscored Tampa 11-3 combined in those games. Game 3, 8 Eastern ABC, Lightning center Braden Point, a game-time decision. The city of San Francisco today honoring the Warriors with a parade celebrating their latest NBA championship. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green will be part of at least one more title with Golden State over the next 4 or 5 years, and youth will play a role as well, believes ESPN's Tim Legler.
Andrew Wiggins very much in his prime and now playing with a confidence level he never had before, and he's a two-way player now for the first time in his career. I look at guys like Kuminga, Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, James Wiseman.
The attorney for Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder reiterated today Snyder would not testify before Congress on June 22nd, despite a request from the House Oversight Committee to reconsider. His attorney said Snyder's out of the country at the end of the month. The committee is investigating the team's alleged toxic workplace culture.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona. And here we go. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt. I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. I do want to talk a little bit about some Saints free agency in about 15 minutes from right now. Saints players from a year ago that are still unsigned free agents. Who has the most possibility of rejoining the team next year? Who could bring the most value? We'll get to that coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now. When Jaden Daniels committed to LSU, a short time after that, ESPN.com did a list or a ranking. And you know how we feel about rankings over here.
And now it's time for Feigned Indignance from Sports Talk Radio Guy over random summertime sports lists.
Although that was actually in the spring. But anyway, ESPN did a list where they ranked college football's top 25 future quarterback ranking. So they looked at who was currently on the roster, committed players for the future, and they put together what they thought would be the top 25 quarterback rooms over the next 3 years. And they were not actually very kind to LSU. And remember, that included Jaden Daniels at the time. They ranked LSU 16. So despite the fact that you had Jaden Daniels this year and Miles Brennan in the future with Nussmeier and Walker Howard, they ranked LSU 16. Again, it's just a list. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just interesting to gauge different perspectives or the perception that people may have that cover the sport of LSU's quarterbacks. Like Ohio State was number 1 on that list. USC, bring in Lincoln Riley, obviously. Alabama was 3. Texas A&M, for example, despite the fact that you just had Zach Calzada and you brought in Max Johnson. But betting on the come there with Jimbo. Georgia was 5. So it kind of gives you some perspective. They had LSU down the list a bit, which is why this was interesting to me. By the way, as far as the summertime sports lists thing, CBS Sports just has the market cornered. Have you looked at CBS Sports college football page? Every day, it's just a different list. The season's ranking the biggest revenge games, ranking each week's chaos potential. What does that even mean? You're going to rank the week's chaos potential? Like, I haven't looked at it. I mean, are they legitimately just going like week 6, week 12, week 1? Anyway, and then they did a ranking by position. But the reason it was interesting is they ranked the best quarterback rooms for this coming season. And they have LSU 5th in the country on this list. It's Bama, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and then LSU. Surprising to me. Because think of who isn't on the list that I just mentioned. Clemson's not on that list. Ole Miss, which pulled Jackson Dart out of the transfer portal from Southern Cal, they're not on that list. Despite Lane Kiffin, his ability to bring in quarterbacks, mold them, develop them, get massive production like he did both at Alabama and now at Ole Miss. Texas A&M's not on that list. Remember, A&M was top 5 on the ESPN list 3 months ago. They got LSU 5th on that list. And the more I look at it, the more, to me anyway, it makes a lot of sense. You'll consider this. And this is why I think the closer people look at LSU's quarterback position for this year, the more favorable people are going to be when they start describing it the closer we get to the season. The CBS Sports write-up, it talks about Jaden Daniels, Brennan Nussmeier, Howard. Don't have a proven starter after losing Max Johnson, but the collection ranks among the deepest in the nation. Talk about Jaden Daniels, who's thrown for, put up 3,000 yards of total offense. Brennan's a 6th-year guy. The talent of Nussmeier and Walker Howard, guys that could compete for playing time right away. You understand. But I think the part of this that really benefits LSU this season in college football is if I look at the teams ranked ahead of them on this list, while they may have a more proven number 1, there's a giant question of what happens if number 1 goes down. Like, Alabama's number 1 on this list for good reason. Bryce Young had an historic season, won the Heisman. Bama got to their 2nd consecutive national championship game. Of course, they lost to Georgia, but it's hard to argue against the returning Heisman Trophy winner, right? Well, after Bryce Young is Jalen Milroe. Played 4 games a year ago, has 7 career passing attempts. That's Bama's backup. And maybe he's just the next in line, a long line of studs that are just going to crush it, but he's got 7 career passing attempts. Ohio State, C.J. Stroud is their starter. No surprise there. Their backup is Kyle McCord, who played in 5 games and is a career 25 of 38 passing. 38 career passing attempts. That's their backup at Ohio State. Number 3 on the list is Michigan. Cade McNamara, returning starter, was really good a year ago. Michigan went to the Orange Bowl. They were in the playoff. You know the story. Their backup is J.J. McCarthy. He's a true freshman, hasn't played. Georgia, 4th on the list. Stetson Bennett returns. Guy was the quarterback of the national championship team. Beat out J.T. Daniels. Sent him packing to Pitt. We all know the story. Or to West Virginia. Backup is Carson Beck. 5 career passing attempts. So that means when you look at LSU, if you assume Brennan, Daniels, Brennan, whatever order, if Daniels wins the job, your backup is a 6th-year player in Miles Brennan. If Brennan wins the job, your backup is a dude that started 30 career games in the Power 5. None of the teams on this list. And then you've got Nussmeier, who played in 4 games a year ago, and then the really talented blue chip kid Walker Howard. So all of those other programs have their version of Nussmeier Howard, the young guy that's dabbled but hasn't played a ton, and then the freshman coming in who's the blue chip. None of the ones I mentioned have the combo of Daniels, Brennan, Daniels, 2 guys that have played a bunch. At least none on this list that CBS put forth, which I'll keep going back to this, and my hope is, y'all, and I'm sure you all feel the same way, whoever ultimately wins a starting job for LSU, I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be Brennan or Daniels or Nussmeier. They're going to redshirt Walker Howard. I think we know that. The last 2 years, each of the last 2 years, LSU has started 3 different quarterbacks. In 2020, Brennan was injured, and then we saw both freshmen that year, Finley and Johnson. And then last year, we saw 3 different quarterbacks play significantly as well. So my hope is, and this is where I get to the point where I'm sure you agree, that whoever wins the job that's the best player just stays healthy and has a great year. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. But as we've seen, it usually doesn't work out that way. Like 2019 with Joe Burrow just being the dude, that's an outlier. More often than not, we've seen LSU have to go to multiple quarterbacks, and that's the reality with most college football programs at some point during the season. And you could look at the transfer culture, and a big part of the transfer culture is because of injuries. I just mentioned JT Daniels. He was a starter at USC as a freshman, and the reason he's not there anymore is he got hurt and lost his job. And the guy he lost his job to, Keaton Slovis, got hurt, and now he's transferred as well. And the next guy in was Jackson Dart. Now he's transferred to Ole Miss. I mean, that's 3 quarterbacks from one school at Southern Cal that have all transferred out. I mean, it's a great lesson as to why you have to keep stockpiling that position, but it's also a reminder of how hard it is to build depth and why having depth at that position matters so much. I got asked this question this morning. It's like, do you worry if you're LSU, you got Walker Howard, you keep going and trying to recruit all these blue chip quarterbacks, do guys leave? Well, no, you don't worry about that. It's why you continue to go keep recruiting blue chip quarterbacks. Look what happened to Georgia, where you had Jacob Eason, who was a 5-star, and then you recruit Jake Fromm behind him. You had Justin Fields as well. Remember, you went boom, boom, boom. I mean, Fields left for Ohio State. Eason got hurt, lost the job to Fromm. He goes back home to Washington. You understand the point. Like, you can't take for granted that someone's just going to be there and wait and be next in line. LSU just kind of has that unique luxury right now, or that rare luxury, I should say, because Miles Brennan is willing to come back for his 6th year. So you could certainly argue, and I would, that Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or Cade McNamara or Stetson Bennett, any of those guys, is more accomplished, better, talented, higher ceiling, whatever, than LSU's top 2, Daniels and Brennan. What's undeniable is that LSU's top 2 are more experienced than anybody else's top 2. So if you have to go into your depth at quarterback, you feel pretty good about it at LSU, which is not something that we can often say. All right, let me know your thoughts. You can always get involved with the show. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube
Twitter
chat.
world.
Thank you, Juice. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows, Windows, Doors, Siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. Give my guy Brandon Holly a shout, 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com. All right, I'm going to knock out a break. We still haven't talked yet about Will Safford entering the transfer portal. Another day has brought another defection from the LSU baseball program. Again, that's not a surprise. Like, we've talked about this, and he's not going to be the last. Like, expect that announcements like that probably every day between now and the draft coming up in less than a month from right now. But we will get to that when we come back, though. I do want to delve into some Saints talk. We haven't done really any Saints talk yet. 9 players who were with the New Orleans Saints last year are still unsigned free agents. Who might be back with New Orleans next year? Who has the best case? Everyone's talking about Quan Alexander, but I don't think he's the biggest name that we should be talking about. We'll get to that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. As a matter of fact, my buddy Darren James is out at the eXp Shareholders Conference right now, doing great stuff. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. You can go to the website, every home listed by every company. It's all in one place, agent225.com. Remember, when I tell you about Darren James, we're talking about a realtor that doesn't matter if your home's a $30,000 home or $30 million home or anything in between. Darren has a way of making you feel like you're his only client. The level of customer service is what keeps people coming back, is what keeps people referring Darren and his team year after year after year. I'm living proof of it. We have now we've bought 2 homes and sold a home with Darren. And if you're buying or selling, you can't go wrong. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2021 Jeep Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators on our lot now with $5,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Auburn's trying to polish off Stanford here. It's a 6-2 Auburn top 9. And Auburn actually has a runner on second base with 1 out. So Auburn up 4, looking to add to their lead. They are 3 outs away from sending Stanford back to the farm, literally, and staying alive there in Omaha. We'll let you know when it goes final. There are 9 players who played with the Saints in 2021 who are still unsigned, free agents that are unsigned. The most notable is Quan Alexander. We talk about him a lot. I get asked about him all the time. When are the Saints going to re-sign Quan Alexander? I assume they will. And as we've talked about, a year ago, the Saints signed Quan Alexander on August the 5th. Remember, he got injured on Christmas Day against the Vikings. Took the offseason to rehab. The Saints re-signed him August the 5th. He was back with the team, then obviously was injured. I am curious to see if the Saints will re-sign Quan this year. They had Joe Schobert, the linebacker who started last year for Pittsburgh, year before started in Jacksonville, and prior to that was in Cleveland. Guy has been a durable linebacker throughout his career, probably at his ceiling, not as high as what Quan is, but has been healthy, and Quan is not. That's the one people ask about all the time is Quan. And my guess is if Quan remains unsigned when training camp starts and he's healthy and ready to roll, they'll bring him in and let him try to see if he can win a roster spot, see if he can stay healthy. If not, you got a backup plan with a guy like Joe Schobert. And, of course, they really like Pete Werner. So I think the Saints are okay with or without Quan Alexander. A lot of LSU fans don't like to hear that, but the thing I keep saying over and over again is if Quan Alexander didn't go to LSU, how would you really feel about it? He's a guy that's been just injury-prone throughout his career. I would love for him to stay healthy and play at his peak. We just haven't seen it. So if they don't go that route, fine. The others are safety Jeff Heath, cornerback Ken Crowley, defensive tackle Christian Ringo. Those are the defensive players. Offensively, Kenny Stills, Jordan Mills, James Carpenter, Caleb Beninock, and kicker Brett Maher. So I don't know that there's a spot for Jeff Heath. I could be wrong, but I don't believe in this secondary, especially when you sign two safeties with Tyrann Mathieu and with Marcus May in this offseason with some of the depth you have already there. I don't know that there's a spot for Jeff Heath. Brett Maher obviously won't be back because you have Will Lutz healthy. And I think the two offensive linemen that remained unsigned, and James Carpenter and Caleb Beninock, probably not back because when you look at the Saints' offensive line, they are pretty deep there when healthy, which is why I think Jordan Mills and Christian Ringo, the two linemen on that list, are probably the most interesting. Kenny Stills and Ken Crowley are the biggest names outside of Quan Alexander. But when you look at Kenny Stills, Kenny Stills last year, it felt like it made a lot of sense when they brought Kenny Stills in. You were decimated at receiver. Stills knew your offense, knew your coaching staff. They knew him in return. All that stuff made sense. A guy who had been productive in his career, and you were so desperate for receiving help. Do you realize last year Kenny Stills played in 13 games? Until I looked this up today, I did not realize this stat. Maybe I just forgot. 13 games played. Started 4 times. Kenny Stills last year started 4 times. Had 6 catches on 23 targets. 6 catches. Guy started 4 games, played in 13, had 6 catches on the season on 23 targets. That is how you end up with literally the worst passing offense in the NFL. There's no room at receiver. Kenny Stills won't be back. Don't need him. Ken Crowley is interesting as well just because he's been around for so long. And he's so maligned. And with last year, with the injuries at corner, with the thought that Marshawn Lattimore was going to be suspended, we were legit talking about Ken Crowley as a day one starter at boundary corner. Thankfully, Paulson Adebo stepped up the way he did. Lattimore was never suspended, and the Saints look very healthy at corner. I don't know that there's a spot for Ken Crowley either. Again, those are 2 named veterans that probably aren't going to be back. But the 2 that I think are the most interesting that are still unsigned are Christian Ringo and Jordan Mills. 2 veteran interior linemen on either side of the ball. Let's start with Ringo on the defensive side of the ball. So Christian Ringo, who's bounced around the NFL during his career. But last year with the New Orleans Saints, Christian Ringo played 14 games and started. Sorry, I had it. Here it is. Sorry. Started 4 times and had 26 tackles. So Christian Ringo was actually a productive player for the Saints last year as a rotational defensive lineman. Again, a guy who has played a good bit throughout his career. He has, in his career, played in 34 games. He's played for the Packers, the Lions, the Bengals, Cowboys, and Saints. So he's bounced around a little bit, but as a rotational guy a year ago, actually played pretty well for you. And the defensive line needs numbers. This is why, I'll get back to the Ndamukong Suh thing in a second, but that's why that was relevant today with Ndamukong Suh going on NFL Live. We'll get to that in a second. But I would like to see Christian Ringo in camp. The only defensive lineman you have, interior lineman, I'm not talking about your ends. I'm not talking about Cam Jordan. I'm not talking about Tano Passanio. Not talking about Carl Granderson. Not talking about Marcus Davenport. Not even talking about Peyton Turner. I'm talking about interior players. David Onyemata, Shai Tuttle. After that, you're talking about Kentavious Street, Jaleel Johnson, Albert Huggins, Malcolm Roach, the rookie Jordan Jackson. You don't have really any veterans or production after your first two guys, Onyemata and Tuttle. I mean, Kentavious Street really is your next most veteran defensive lineman. So a guy like Christian Ringo, at least in camp, could vie for a job. Now, that changes if you sign Ndamukong Suh, which I endorse. If you missed the news, Ndamukong Suh was on NFL Live today on Monday and said he will not be back with the Bucs. Doesn't look like there will be a deal done, but he still wants to play. 35 years old, has never missed a game in his career due to injury, only due to suspension. Still had 6 sacks a year ago. You put him on a rotation on the interior of the Saints defensive line with Onyemata and Tuttle and Street and those guys. I think there's a great fit for Ndamukong Suh, and the Saints can afford it with more than $8 million in cap space. And you know Kai Harley can do cap gymnastics to make it work. I would love to see Ndamukong Suh in the black and gold this year. But even still, I think Christian Ringo is one of the unsigned Saints veterans from a year ago that is free agents that would make sense to bring back. The other is Jordan Mills. One of the giant storylines last year with the Saints was all of the injuries on the offensive line. We understand, like Ryan Ramczyk, Teron Armstead, Eric McCoy, Andrus Peat. Everybody except Cesar Ruiz among your starting 5 missed time due to injury. And so there were times where you didn't know who was playing where on that offensive line as they sort of mishmashed it together. But Jordan Mills was a veteran player. He's 31 years old, and he's from Napoleonville, so he's a Louisiana guy, even though he didn't play collegiately. So he went to Assumption, and he went to Louisiana Tech. My apologies. So he did play collegiately in Louisiana. Played at Louisiana Tech. But Jordan Mills has played in 100 career games with 87 starts. You have a guy with a ton of veteran experience that could play guard or tackle on either side of the ball. And one of the things that we learned a year ago is how important it is to have a swing lineman. We saw Senio Kelemete do that early in his career. That guy now is James Hurst. And Hurst is probably going to be your day one starter at left tackle. And when the Saints are healthy, their first 5 are pretty good. Obviously, Armstead is no longer here, but Hurst, Pete, McCoy, Ruiz, Ramczyk. That first 5 is pretty good. And you know Trevor Penning and Calvin Throckmorton are going to have jobs on this team. So that's 7. You're probably going to keep 9 offensive linemen. So there's really only 2 more spots. If you're going to tell me that one of those guys can be a veteran player who started 87 times, played in 100 games, played in 10 games with 3 starts last year for the Saints on both sides of the line, inside and out, I like that guy. I know we always tend to lean toward who's the next Throckmorton, who's the next young, up-and-coming, hungry, talented, fresh, physical free agent that can come in and be that guy. I don't know if he's there, and he may be, but that's a camp battle that ultimately you'll have to decide. But in the meantime, a guy like Jordan Mills and a guy like Christian Ringo would be the 2 Saints free agents that played on the team a year ago that are currently unsigned that I would say those would be my top 2 to bring back. Everyone asks about Quan Alexander. I get it, and I think there's going to be a method for Quan back. But if we just accept that's the top guy, and if he's healthy, would be back, the rest of the list, the 2 that I think you got to get back, Christian Ringo, Jordan Mills, depth, experience on your interior of either line. Would love to see either or both of those guys back in camp with the Saints next month. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Real quick, want to remind you DraftKings, you got Stanley Cup Finals Game 3 tonight. DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NHL and of the Stanley Cup Final. And right now, friends at DraftKings, they're always giving you great promotions. But right now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Again, one word smashed together. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. They'll bet just $5 on tonight's game or any NHL Stanley Cup Final game. Bet just $5. And regardless of the outcome, they'll give you $100 in free bets. Like, you literally cannot lose. Just bet $5 on the game tonight. Either team, Lightning, Avalanche, doesn't matter. Whoever wins, bet just $5 on the game. They're going to give you $100 in free bets at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, same game parlays are there as well. You can bet anything. You want to bet College World Series, Major League Baseball, golf, it's all there at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge and take advantage of that great Stanley Cup Final bet tonight, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. An official sports betting partner of the Stanley Cup Finals is DraftKings. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget like Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break when we come back. Will Safford has entered the transfer portal. Take a look at how LSU's baseball numbers look for next season. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about River City's 1 Hour Air. Of course, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. But you look outside and it don't take a rocket scientist to realize, y'all. Right now, it is 97 degrees in Baton Rouge with a heat index well into the triple figures, and lots of people are needing their home central AC serviced, and River City's 1 Hour Air needs technicians. So if you want a career instead of a job, River City's 1 Hour Air. A career with the best benefits in the city, a career where they'll hire you and keep you employed even during the non-peak months. That happens at some HVAC companies. They'll hire for the busy season and let people go. Never happens at River City's 1 Hour Air because there is no slow season. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. If you're interested in learning how you can make as much money as you want, how you can create a career instead of just a job, River City's 1 Hour Air wants to talk to you. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Kids have staked out their place at Otter Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well. Yes! It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Otter Health Center for Children.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.
You need cooling, baby, I'm not fooling. I'm gonna send you back to schooling, way down inside.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Our Lady of the Lake Ascension and 100.7 The Tigers Swamp Pop Music Fest and Jambalaya Cook-Off is this Saturday, June 25th.
You think they're going to play a whole lot of love
to
at the
9
Swamp
p.m.
Pop Fest?
at Lamar Dixon. Thanks to our title sponsor, Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Jambalaya Cook-Off sponsor, Mike Ward's Liberty Safes, and presenting sponsor, Supreme Chevrolet. All the proceeds from the Jambalaya plate sales will go to Alzheimer's Services. For the lineup of the bands, and to purchase tickets, go to 1045ESPN.com.
You think they're going to play a whole lot of love at Swamp Pop?
I don't think so, no. Probably
What if
not.
there's a Swamp Pop version
Like
of a whole lot of love? What would that sound like?
If there is, you'll hear it at the Swamp Pop Festival this weekend.
You better believe that. Auburn has polished off Stanford 6-2. They just flashed a graphic. Auburn's first win at the College World Series since 1997. Been a minute for Auburn there, but Stanford goes home. Auburn advances. Yeah, okay.
That one surprised me, I'll be honest.
It didn't surprise me in the least. And I'll tell you why. Or you may ask why.
Okay, why?
Yeah, thank you. Bad setup on my part. Yeah, because Stanford was wearing black jerseys.
Okay.
I mean, come on. Like, your color isn't black. Why are you wearing black jerseys?
You're right.
And Stanford's traditional uniforms are so pure.
They're good.
They're really good.
The cursive.
They're home whites. They're road grays. Even the alternate with the cardinal top and the white pant. Like, they have really good-looking uniforms. And Auburn today, Auburn pleased the baseball gods with their uniform. Auburn went with the traditional road gray, the cursive Auburn in blue, trimmed in orange. It's a beautiful look. The blue cap with the interlocking AU logo. Look, no one's ever going to confuse me for an Auburn fan, but I can objectively tell you that's a very nice-looking uniform what Auburn wore today. And what Stanford wore today is an abomination. And I'm not surprised that Tennessee lost last night. That Notre Dame lost last night.
Bad, man.
Because what they wore was pajamas.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what they wore. And I understand. They beat Tennessee in the pajamas.
They did.
But that was...
I mean, come on.
We discussed this.
Yeah.
That was the baseball gods giving Tennessee a swift kick in the gonads to say, for all of your transgressions this year, not only are you going to lose, but you're going to lose to a team wearing pajamas. Or pajamas. Do you say pajamas or pajamas?
Pajamas.
Paulie, do you say pajamas or pajamas?
Pajamas?
Is that a Southern thing? Poll question. Pajamas or pajamas?
Okay. Like
you have to spell it phonetically.
Okay.
It's not that hard. You can do it. I have faith in you.
Oh.
I have a lot of faith in you, Muso. You are a Manship School graduate.
That's true.
You can figure out how to word a poll question on Twitter where you phonetically spell pajamas and pajamas.
Pajamas.
Not buzz. There's no B.
It's like jambalaya.
Don't make me call into question my faith in you, Muso. Yes, jambalaya or jambalaya. So I would say jambalaya.
That's correct, by the way.
But it is JAM, so phonetically it would be jambalaya.
You don't like that.
I know, I don't. But I would say pajamas. That's what I would say.
Yeah, pajamas.
But I feel like if you ask that question outside of the South, you'd probably get pajamas. It's like book bag, backpack, book sack. What do you say? I feel like that's a regional thing.
Yeah, probably.
Like I say backpack. What do you say?
Backpack, actually, yeah.
Paulie?
Now I say backpack.
When
I was in school, I would say book sack.
You'd say book sack? But nobody ever says book bag, right?
No.
Yeah, no, it says
backpack.
Your book sack. Your BFP. Your
Book,
backpack.
book bag or backpack.
Okay. All right. So pajamas. Don't let me down, Muse. Don't let me down. I mean, chances are you're going to let me down. But
probably, yeah.
But here's hoping you don't. Will Safford enter the transfer portal today? That probably isn't going to be a great surprise for LSU fans. I want to reiterate something we talked about when the season ended, and I said it every day last week, and I'm going to say it today, and probably again tomorrow, and the day after that, and like every day. LSU is going to turn over more than half of its baseball roster this year. You got a handful of guys who've exercised their eligibility. Mikhail Hilliard, Devin Fontenot, Trent Vittmeyer, Tyler McManus, Trey Schaefer. You have guys you know are going to sign pro contracts. Jacob Berry is going to sign a pro contract. Kay Doty most likely is going to sign a pro contract. Eric Razelman, Paul Gervais. And then you have guys that are for whatever variety of reasons, didn't contribute, didn't play, that are not going to be back. And a big part of that reason is rosters were expanded because of COVID to 40. Next year for 2023, they're contracted back to 35, so you automatically lose 5 roster spots. And then Jay Johnson has holes he needs to fill. He needs a shortstop. Look at Jordan Thompson first half of the year was objectively, he struggled. I think everybody knows that he does as well. But the final month of the season, he was really good. But if you're Jay Johnson, you can't risk going into next year without a more proven option at shortstop. And if one presents itself in the portal, you got to go get it. You also don't know how many of your signing class are going to return or are going to show up on campus. They're hoping internally get 11 or 12 of those guys from the signing class. Okay, if that comes to pass, well, you need those roster spots. So you've already lost 5 spots going from 40 to 35. You got 5 guys that have graduated or have no more eligibility. So that's, it's 5 spots that are open. So that's sort of a wash there. But then we just talked about the guys that are likely going to sign, 4 of them. Well, when you just look at transfer portal and then the amount of signees that are likely to show up, you're going to have to find about 15 spots somewhere in the mix. And so far, we know that Gio entered the portal, Collier Cranford entered the portal, Brennan Holt entered the portal. He's going to Oklahoma State. And now Will Safford has entered the portal. There's going to be more. There's going to be a lot more. I mean, just we're talking through it right now. You're doing the math, and you realize you're not even close to being done with the amount of players from this current roster, from this 2022 LSU baseball team, that will not be back next year. So you're going to continue to hear more and more of that. Something Jay Johnson told us last week, Friday when he met with the media, which is something that I've said here and I've been told, is Jay is going ham right now on the portal. And he's doing it. Obviously you lost Dan Fitzgerald and Jason Kelly, but he's not looking right now to immediately replace those guys. His priority number 1 is roster, and that's transfer portal, because there's nothing else you can do right now. I mean, you can't, because the draft isn't for another 3 weeks or 4 weeks, there's nothing you can do. It's the 17th through the 19th. It's actually when we leave for SEC Media Days. But there's nothing you can do until the draft happens and you know how many guys in your class are going to show up. You don't know how many roster spots you're going to have or how many you're going to need. So In the meantime, it's purge. It's purge the current roster. And I hate to say it that way because we're talking about young guys who are playing college baseball. And I don't mean for that to sound disrespectful, so please don't take it that way. Please just know that I just don't have a better way of saying it. And then if there's a no-doubter in the portal, a guy you want, like they have with Dylan Tabrock, the pitcher from Creighton, 2-time Big East Pitcher of the Year. Oh, that guy? Yep, want him. Okay, take him. And you're going to find a way to make the numbers work for that guy. And if those guys show up in the portal right now, that's going to happen. And as for Safford, that's a guy who y'all know I was really high on because I think you need those guys on your roster. You need guys who grew up eating, breathing, living and dying with LSU baseball and would give their arm to play here. Every championship team LSU's ever had, you've always had those guys. And I think they have to be a part of the program. It's not going to be Will Safford. Obviously, he's leaving, but you need those guys. You've always got to have those guys. And he was a 2-time All-State player at U-High. And I think had he gotten an opportunity to be an everyday player, would have done well. Didn't get that opportunity. When he had his opportunities, he didn't produce, so he didn't get more opportunities. And that's under 2 different head coaches, so there's no argument. He'll go somewhere else and find a place to play, and I think we'll have a really good college career, and you wish him the best. But for Jay Johnson right now, I mean, you can look at the guys who have been around for a year or certainly 2 years that haven't made an impact. There's just not going to be a roster spot for those guys next year. And so that's going to continue. Again, if there's one thing that I'll stress here before we wrap this convo for right now, it's if you're an LSU baseball fan, you keep seeing guys leaving the program, don't do the freak out thing and think, why is everybody leaving? Is everybody? No. Like, they're at the point right now where they have so much talent in this class, in this signing class that's waiting on the draft, that they're going to have to create roster spots for those guys. And the best way to go about doing it for the guys currently on the roster is let them know now, hey, it ain't going to work for you here, so they can go find some place to play. And that's what's going on, and that's what's going to continue going on. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Of course, Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com. Knock out our final break here of hour number 2. Muso will have Tigers in the pros. LSU football picked up a safety commit over the weekend. We'll talk about that in 13 minutes from right now. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Of course, yesterday was Father's Day. I was not about to cook on Father's Day, so you know what we did? We called Rouse's. I tell you every day, Rouse's has great food. So we did barbecue from Rouse's. We did barbecue ribs. We did barbecue brisket. We had the baked beans, all the sides. They took care of everything. Placed the order, and I just went over there at 10:30 yesterday morning. They had it ready, paid for it, boom, serve. It's always a great option. If you're having that party, if you need charcuterie or sandwich trays, they've got you covered at Rouse's. They've got of course, the butcher. They've got the seafood market. They've got the bakery for all your sweets and bread and all that stuff. They got a floral department as well. It's amazing when you go by Rouse's. Rouse's is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Find the location nearest you at Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Remember, delivery and pickup options are available. Learn more at Rouse's.com or by downloading the Rouse's app. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Glad to have you with us here right now. Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, so obviously a lot of questions surrounding Odell Beckham Jr. and when he might return from injury. That's getting a little clearer now, but it's not great news for the former Tiger receiver, who, of course, coming off the ACL surgery. ESPN reports that Beckham is not expected to be fully healthy by week 1 and isn't expected to be a, quote, full go until October and possibly even November.
Oh.
That clouds the free agent status a little bit there for OBJ, to say the least, although he is expected to still return to the Los Angeles Rams.
Explains why there aren't many offers in November.
Golly. It's not ideal. Not ideal. Alex Lang yesterday picked up his 4th win of the season.
Hey!
Pitched a third of an inning, gave up a hit, no runs, and walked a batter. Improved his record to 4-1. The Detroit Tigers beat the Texas Rangers 7-3. No, Josh Smith was not in the lineup. You know who was in the lineup yesterday?
Callahan!
Austin Nola.
Callahan!
Made the most of it, too. 1 for 4. The one is his second home run of the season. Drove in a run. It was a 2-run shot, so he scored. Drove in 2, scored a run. 1 for 4. Austin Nola. Padres losers to the Rockies. Oh, who did I have on the list next? I don't have it in front of me. Oh, yeah, man. This story's disappointing.
Oh, I just checked the clock. Makes perfect sense why Musso forgot the relative order of Tigers in the pros. It's 4:53. Those edibles must be hitting right about now.
That has nothing to do with anything. It's also false. It could be because I don't really want to do this story. Michael Papierski has been designated for assignment by the San Francisco Giants, which is just a little disappointing there. They've signed a different catcher off of waivers to make room on the 40-man roster. They had the DFA Pap, so he is available for anybody now to sign.
That's a bummer. That was such a good opportunity, too.
It feels like there could have been another way, honestly. Like, I mean, a trade maybe there or something. You never want to see a guy get DFA'd. Unless he's on your team and he's just been terrible. Then I think you're all for it most of the time. But, I mean...
If you just hate the guy and he stinks, then you're like, yeah, thank God. Get rid of that.
DFA him.
Get rid of that bum.
Get him out of here. U.S. Open recap for Sam Burns. Man, it was a good weekend. It just didn't finish great for him there. Yesterday on the back nine, it kind of got away from Sam, but he came into Sunday just 3 shots off the lead. Ultimately would finish tied for 27th after a 6-over round yesterday, but a pretty good showing in all things considered. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, online at lmfj.com, lmfj.com. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, corporate there in Bocage, and, of course, in the Mall of Louisiana. 9 locations in all, so you can find the location nearest you at lmfj.com. A gorgeous, sparkling diamond every time. Gentlemen, you will be a hero. She will be thrilled. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, and you always get the Lee Michaels experience. lmfj.com.
AFR.
As we put a button here on hour number 2, let me remind you about GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com, changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, gmfsmortgage.com. You probably saw last week that the Fed bumped interest rates again, about 3/4 of a point. And so that trend is not going to stop. But here's something that's so important to remember. And if you follow the news, even though interest rates are going up, a lot of people right now are saying, oh, well, I'll just wait for interest rates to decrease or home values to slide. Talk with a local loan officer, because home values aren't likely to decrease. And even if if you buy a home at a higher interest rate right now, when rates do drop, refi. And GMFS Mortgage will be there for all of it. Talk to a local loan officer. See what's best for you. GMFSmortgage.com.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle, and you'll never pay over MSRP. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Lightning, down 2-0, could be without top-line center Braden Point for Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight versus the Avalanche. Point did not take part in the morning skate. He is a game-time decision. Game 3, 8 Eastern on ABC and ESPN+. The Warriors capped off the celebration of their 4th NBA title the last 8 seasons with a parade through the city of San Francisco today. This Golden State group's set up nicely to add at least one more championship, in the opinion of Pelicans guard C.J. McCollum.
Steph Curry is always going to be able to do what? Shoot. Klay Thompson's always going to be able to shoot, right? That doesn't age. Maybe the lift's not the same, maybe the quickness isn't the same, but the way they play on and off the ball with split post cuts, Draymond, he's banging. He's always going to be able to use his mind. He's always going to be able to defend. He's always going to have that motor. Those are the type of things that travel well and age well.
The attorney for Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder reiterated today Snyder would not testify before Congress on June 22nd, despite a request from the House Oversight Committee to reconsider. Snyder's attorney said Snyder is out of the country at the end of the month. The committee's investigating the team's alleged toxic workplace culture.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate back.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Man, what a busy day. If you've ever listened to this show for any length of time, you've probably at some point heard me say that I am allergic to people saying the dog days of summer or there's nothing going on, etc. And days like this are a great example of why. Today alone, we have seen Will Safford enter the transfer portal. We've talked about an LSU football commit for class 2024. And just in the last 30 minutes or so, LSU has lost a senior athletic administrator and has gained a baseball transfer. So let's go through it, and we'll start with the baseball transfer. So on the day where Will Safford enters the transfer portal, LSU does, in fact, get a middle infielder out of the transfer portal. Jack Pineda, shortstop from Baylor, just tweeted 15 minutes ago a photo of him at LSU there in the Baseball Hall of Fame with wearing an LSU baseball uniform with the caption, "Let's go," and he tagged Jay Johnson and LSU baseball in the photo. So if you're wondering about Jack Pineda, let's run through it a little bit, and then we'll talk a little bit about how this all kind of came about. So Jack Pineda, he has 1 year of eligibility remain, played 2 years at the College of Southern Nevada. He was first-team all-conference at second base, hit .350 his freshman year. Transferred to Baylor in 2021. Started all 51 games, 28 at shortstop, 23 at second base. So he started at second base. Midway through the year, they moved him to shortstop. As a freshman, he hit .327. So .327, not as a freshman, excuse me. He was a third-year player, but again, at Baylor. So this past year, as a fourth-year junior, so right as a redshirt junior, started all 54 games for Baylor at shortstop and hit .300 there in the Big 12. Slugged .502, had 7 homers, on-base percentage of .391. But make no mistake, this is what we've talked about, where it was very clear Jay Johnson going to add a middle infielder out of the transfer portal, and he's going to add starting pitching out of the transfer portal. So they've already added Dylan Tabrock from Creighton, 2-time Big East Pitcher of the Year, and now they've added Jack Pineda, starting shortstop from Baylor, a guy who started 54 games at shortstop for Baylor this year, started there 28 games a year ago, and a guy who's hit over 300 each of his 2 seasons there in the Big 12. So you can kind of see, talked about it, Jay Johnson is doing this himself. He is, I don't know how many times I've continued to say this, like, he is the one pounding the pavement right now in the portal. Dan Fitzgerald's at Kansas. Jason Kelly left for the University of Washington. Jay Johnson right now is only all in on improving this roster through the portal. And then when this window closes, then he'll look to finishing off his staff. But right now it's all about portal and getting better. So you got a guy who is, started over 100 games as a middle infielder now in the Big 12, who's hit over 300 each of his 2 seasons in the Big 12, and he'll be a Tiger next year. So Jack Pineda has committed to LSU as a transfer, and very likely what you see happen is Jack Pineda comes in, Jordan Thompson, everyone expects will be back next year as well, and you let them go compete. And someone's going to be the starting shortstop, and very likely, if it's Pineda, that would mean Thompson moves to third because he's got the arm to make the throw. And I know we've talked about it a little bit, but Gavin Dugas returning, if he does in fact return, we'll see how the draft goes, he would be a possibility at second base as well because they want to get his bat in the lineup, and if he could play second, be competent there. Of course, you got to turn the double play, but that's something that you would very much expect could be a possibility. So Jay Johnson making moves today. The other bit of news that just broke, Pete Thamel over at ESPN, first to have it, everyone has since confirmed. University of Nevada is expected to hire LSU Deputy Athletic Director, and COO Stephanie Remp as their new athletic director. Stephanie has been very good to us over the years. She was brought here by Scott Woodward and has been very kind and given her time on this show and always there to answer questions and be available. And it is so abundantly obvious when you spend 5 minutes with Stephanie Remp that she is a rock star. Like, her being hired to be an athletic director was always an inevitability. And Stephanie Remp becoming, over the next, call it decade or so, one of the most influential voices among college administrators, athletic administrators, also feels like an inevitability. This is a step from LSU to Nevada, and she is from the West Coast, but so it does move closer to her roots. I don't know that necessarily matters tremendously. This was an opportunity to go be an athletic director, and I, again, mean no disrespect at all to Nevada, but that's not going to be her last stop. She'll be an athletic director in Nevada. She will do exceptionally well at that, and in short time, she will be a Power 5 AD and do exceptional at that as well. If you remember, I had Muse pull this up in the top of the hour. When Kim Mulkey was hired, remember who she thanked when she was introduced.
And then, like all great athletic directors and leaders, they better have people and women around them that are smarter than they are, right? Stephanie, where are you? Remp, Stephanie, you better stay at LSU a while, girl, because you did all the work to get me here. You showed me the numbers. You talked to me. You got me through all the emotional moments. Thank you.
That was Kim Mulkey when she was hired, talking about Stephanie Remp. For a lot of you, that just sort of rolled off the back, and it was something you didn't probably ever think of, but that's Stephanie Remp. Like, Scott Woodward is no dummy. Scott hired Stephanie Remp 3 times. He hired her at Washington. He brought her from Seattle to A&M, and then when he got the LSU job, he brought her from College Station to Baton Rouge. Stephanie Remp is a dynamo. She's awesome. Like, I can't speak in enough superlatives. She was always going to leave for an AD job, and this won't be her last. So congrats to Stephanie Remp, but that leaves a massive hole in Baton Rouge with Stephanie Remp leaving because you heard Kim Mulkey say it. Stephanie, you did all the work. I mean, Scott Woodward is a great AD in that he knows how to surround himself with great people and to delegate, and he knows how to close. But Stephanie Remp was the one that did so much of the legwork. That, with the Brian Kelly hire, vetting candidates, interviewing, working out details of contracts. She was so informative to us with not only NIL, with COVID and how the SEC was trying to put together a season mid-COVID. She's going to do wonderful. So congrats to Stephanie Remp. It's a huge loss for LSU. It's a name that you probably have heard. Many LSU fans may not know or know exactly what she does, but that is a big loss for LSU. It's a great opportunity for Stephanie Remp, obviously, but that's a big loss for LSU. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. You want to join us, you can always text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Just a big day. Big day. So, again, just very quickly to recap, if you missed it, Will Safford has entered the transfer portal. Jay Johnson has gotten a commitment from Jack Pineda, 2-year starting shortstop at Baylor. He's hit over 300 each of his 2 years there. And now we learned Stephanie Remp is off to Nevada to be the new athletic director there for the Wolfpack. Just the dog days of summer, right? Nothing going on during the dog days of summer. All right, it's After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, I do want to talk some LSU football because what we haven't talked about yet is the safety commitment that LSU got over the weekend from Maurice Williams, who, by the way, Maurice Williams will be on AFR tomorrow. We'll look forward to talking to him, but I do want to react a little bit to this when we come back. Stick around. Glad to have you aboard with us here, Monday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Storm season is here, y'all, and for the past month or so, I've been telling you about Schutz Electric. They install whole home generators from Generac, standby generators. And the response from you has been incredible so far. What I want to stress so much, a couple of things. Number one, power goes out, boom, immediately your standby generator comes on and powers your entire house. It's not what appliances can I power. No, your entire home is powered as if the power never went off. That's number one. Number two, a whole home generator is affordable. It is affordable, and they offer financing. Don't listen to this and think, oh, well, I can't afford that. Get in touch with Schutz Electric. Call them or log on to CESofLA.com. CESofLA.com. Hit request an estimate right there at the top. Working with Schutz has been incredible for us. They can do the same for you. CESofLA.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The sun is out. The music is in your control. Your crush is here. The vibe is good. Vizzy Hard Seltzer is a vibe.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet,
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
You still seem like I'm in a good mood today.
You do seem like you're in a pretty good mood, Matt.
It's amazing what a functioning, comfortable chair can do for your morale, right? If you missed today's show open, be sure you go back and check it out on demand, 1045ESPN.com. But I would highly recommend you go watch today's show open at the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Oh, Muse.
What's up?
Update people on demand, please.
What do you mean? On demand, like we have its own feed now? Is that what you're going for?
I got it.
Okay.
So last week, a lot of you said you were having trouble with our feed and things published. We have a new host server where we're publishing our on-demand audio. So a lot of people asked. So thank you for that. I would always, people like, I don't know if you know, I would always rather you let us know if you're having an issue. But very quickly, we had to change host providers at the end of last week, which is why some of our on-demand audio didn't publish. It should be fixed today, yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
and now today's are going up like, smooth as silk there.
Awesome. So AFR On Demand, of course, presented by Brett Golf. If you're not familiar, several months ago we did switch all of our feeds from like one big universal feed where all of our shows went on this one feed. Now each show has its own feed. So if you're looking for AFR On Demand audio, go to Spotify, iTunes, just search After Further Review, and you'll see it, subscribe up, and you'll get all the on-demand audio. It's back live there. So, yes, having a great day. New chair. We talked about that in the open of the show. We led the show with the new chair. And of course, yesterday was Father's Day. Brian Kelly celebrated his first Father's Day as LSU's head coach. And his daughter, Grace, trolled him on Instagram. I only saw this because, I get an email. I'm part of like a radio email deal where it's like a show prep email, right? They send you links and audio and all this other thing I send to you every single day. Well, one of the links came from Bro Bible.
Bro Bible Sliced Bread.
That Bro Bible.
Same guy.
Bro Bible Sliced Bread.
Bro Bible Sliced Bread.
It was a link about which I didn't see this on Instagram, but I did see it on the Bro Bible link.
Bro Bible Sliced Bread.
That came through the email about Bro Bible Sliced Bread.
Bro Bible Sliced Bread.
Really just about this. Well, anyway, so Brian Kelly's daughter, Grace, posted a picture of she and Brian Kelly on Instagram. And the caption, I'll zoom in if you can't read it there. It said, "Happy Father's Day to my biggest supporter. Thank you for everything you do for me and our family." She phonetically spelled out family and used the cowboy hat emoji. Would love you,
That's
Bob.
beautiful.
That is so good. Her Instagram is the numeral 1 Grace _ if you want to go give her a follow. But if you want to see the post that we're talking about there. So well done, Grace Kelly. You know what? Actually, do we think Grace Kelly is trolling her dad or trolling all of the morons who crushed her dad for saying family?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe so. I think she was just having a little fun. And good for her.
It was good.
Good for her for having a sense of humor about the whole thing. A little bit of recruiting news. If you missed it late last week, so one of the big prospects that LSU is keeping an eye on is highly touted quarterback Jaden Rashada. He's out of California. He had narrowed his list of schools to 7, and he was supposed to announce on the 18th. Well, so it would have been Saturday. He pushed the announcement to the 26th, so 6 days from now is when he's set to announce, and he wasn't ready yet, plus apparently the 26th is his grandmother's birthday, and he'll make the announcement on TV on CBS Sports HQ. So he dropped Cal and Oregon from his list of 7, so now he's down to 5. His 5 are Texas A&M, LSU, Florida, Miami, and Ole Miss. So Jaden Rashada, again, will announce on the 26th. And, LSU's in the mix, which is great to see, and I know everybody's curious about how this is going to go and if LSU's going to end up landing a highly touted prospect in this year's class. And I've mentioned it before. Of course, you would love to land blue chip top 5 quarterbacks in the country every year, of course. But the transfer portal has minimized the importance of this. And I hate to say it that way, but it is true. If you miss on a prospect in a certain class, you can go, there's a Jaden Daniels there. There's a JT Daniels. There's a Jackson Dart. There's a Max Johnson. There's a Zach Calzada. There, it's just the nature of college football now. Not only do you get former Power 5 signees, but in many instances, guys who have experience. So, yes, would love to see Jaden Rashada pick LSU. It'd be a huge coup for Brian Kelly to get a blue chip quarterback from the state of California to sign with him here at LSU. But if it doesn't work out, still think LSU is going to be A-OK there under center. All right, it's after further review. One prospect that we know LSU did land is Maurice Williams. So Maurice Williams is a 4-star safety from the class of 2024. So he is actually entering his junior year in high school right now. So still a ways to go, but he committed over the weekend while he was taking a visit to LSU and announced on his social media. So he's a safety, just to run through it. Again, keep in mind also, you're talking about a high school junior. Like, he's entering his junior year. 6 foot 190. Dude's just finishing his sophomore year in high school. 6 foot 190. He's the 8th best safety in the country, the number 63 overall player. He's from Pearland, which, if you don't know, is a suburb of Houston. So Brian Kelly has gone into the greater Houston area now and gotten a 4-star safety. Had offers from Michigan, Michigan State, Ole Miss, Kansas, others, but picked LSU. It's interesting, and I can't tell you that I know anything about Maurice Williams, but it's so interesting to me how heavily LSU and how active LSU has been in the secondary in recruiting. Here's what I mean. Right now for the class of 2023, you got 5 commitments. You got Mac Markway, the tight end. You got Holly, the running back out of North Louisiana. And then you've got 3 defensive backs, a cornerback and 2 safeties. Now your first commit for 2024 is a safety. There's a couple of things. Obviously, Kerry Cooks, Robert Steeples, tip of the hat. Those guys are doing work. They're recruiting high-caliber prospects at their positions that they coach. They're doing a really good job. The other interesting part, though, is of the ones I mentioned, the 3 defensive back commits for 2023, and then now Maurice Williams, none of them are from Louisiana. So they've been able to cast a net outside of the state and go get some highly touted defensive backs. But when you look at LSU's roster, it does make a lot of sense why they're going heavy at defensive back. Now, this year in the transfer portal, it was a necessity, right? We've talked about that a bunch. And they went and got guys like Joe Fouché and Greg Brooks, and we know about the corners that they had to go get as well. But if you just look at safety, on LSU's roster right now, they currently only list 3 safeties. Todd Harris, Jay Ward, Jordan Tolles. That's the only players they list as safeties. Now, there's a lot of players they have listed as defensive backs that also play safety. Davis, Brooks, Fouché, Langlois, Sage Ryan, Major Burns. So you've got 9 defensive backs on your roster right now that play safety. It's safe to say, well, we know Brooks, Fouché, and Harris, this is their last year of eligibility, so those 3 will be gone. And it's likely that Jay Ward has gone after this year as well. I think we'd probably agree on that. He's a junior. He's played a bunch. He's played corner and safety. Very talented guy. He's probably going to declare for the draft. So 4 of your 9 are likely, 3 for sure, likely 4 are gone. I would also say most likely Major Burns, who played a year at Georgia, transferred into LSU, played last year, got hurt. He could be a draft defection as well. And then just the other guys that we're talking about, if it's Tolles, Davis, Langlois, one of those guys probably transfers, right? Because it's just the nature of the position, like in the nature of college football now. Guys sit and wait 2 years. Like normally they don't hang around a 3rd or a 4th year if they haven't played yet. So I guess my point is, of those 9 guys, you could lose 5 or 6 after this year. So you're going to need to resupplement your numbers at defensive back, which is why it makes sense to have 2 safeties already committed for 2023, and you're looking ahead already to 2024. So that's roster management. That's what got away from the previous staff while you ended up in some pretty serious holes at spots like linebacker and on the offensive line. And you had to go hit the transfer portal just to supplement your roster enough to be competitive at those spots. There's enough foresight, it appears, to focus on roster management now to get that nipped in the bud early. So, again, Maurice Williams, 4-star safety for the class of 2024. He is now committed to LSU for the class of 2024. And it's worth noting, Maurice Williams will be with us on AFR tomorrow at 3:15. So in hour 1, we'll talk to LSU's 2024 commitment. We'll look forward to that. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com. They do have vehicles on the lot. Just before I went on that beach vacation, 4 truckloads of vehicles showed up. So brand new Volkswagens, they're on the lot at South Point Volkswagen, Airline just north of Highland, or southpointvw.com. New or certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. That's South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, it's After Further Review. If you're just joining us, Auburn knocked off Stanford at the College World Series today. Stanford is eliminated. Auburn stays alive. We'll preview the night action, Ole Miss and Arkansas tonight from the College World Series. We'll get some of that. Otter Locks is coming up in about 17 minutes from right now. Jimmy will give us a pick on the Major League Baseball action, the College World Series game tonight. And you better believe we'll have Colucci's pick for a Game 3, Lightning and Avalanche. Colucci has nailed it so far. Had the Avs in the first 2 games. Saturday was a rocking chair cover for Colorado with a 7-0 win. Just out here trying to pay for kids' college. That's all we're doing. We'll do Otter Locks in about 17 minutes from right now. Hey, let me remind you about Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Tell you every single day. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Commercial or residential. And that's one thing that I do get questioned on a lot. People, as I've talked about it more, people said, I didn't realize that you all do commercial roofing. I was having lunch with a client on Friday and said, so Hudco does commercial. Do you do metal? We do metal. Do you do TPO? We do TPO. I said, everything. It doesn't matter. Small, from the smallest repair, we have a repair crew that we run, to the largest commercial jobs that you can imagine. If it's housing complexes, apartment complexes, we re-roofed All-Star Lanes, the bowling alley in Baton Rouge, CVS Pharmacy. No matter how big or small, whatever type of roof repair or replacement you need, we can help. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. You can email me directly if you'd like, and I'm more than happy to facilitate. Matt@HudcoRoofing.com, M-A-T-T, Matt@HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Quick break. Stick around.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Otter locks in about 10 minutes from right now. Probably get a pick on tonight's baseball game there in Omaha. Winners bracket game with Ole Miss and Arkansas. A lot on the line. Not just on the field, but also at Rocco's. Been following this? The Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge bar in Omaha. They have a dry erase board. So each team in the College World Series is represented, and they update this board based on how many Jell-O shots are purchased and consumed at Rocco's here during the College World Series. Arkansas had a commanding lead, but this was literally updated 5 minutes ago. The Post, when we went to break, I refreshed it, and they had just updated it. The most recent number, Arkansas with 4,644 Jell-O shots. Ole Miss, 4,579 Jell-O shots. So they've closed within 100 Jell-O shots. Ole Miss, they saw the challenge and have responded accordingly. There is one thing, though, that I would like to point out. And I have a friend that lives in Omaha, and I asked kind of about fan bases being represented. Said Arkansas's got a lot, but remember, Dave Van Horn was at Nebraska, left Nebraska for Arkansas, and so a lot of Nebraska fans actually cheer for Dave Van Horn. So you may have a lot of Nebraskans that are actually cheering for Arkansas, and as such, that Arkansas number may be inflated. What do we think?
It's
inflated number?
It could be, yeah. They want a Jell-O shot. What team do you want to put it on? Well, I like DVH here, Arkansas. That could be a thing for sure.
The natives could be going for Arkansas. Yeah. Very disappointed in Auburn. Look, Stanford at 106, not a surprise. Texas, maybe just a little too bougie. Only 215.
Absolutely.
It's just got, their fans are represented. They're a great historic fan base. They're a great historic program, all that sort of stuff. But if you're going to jump into the SEC, I'm going to need a better effort.
Oh, no, 100% agreed.
Notre Dame's at 360. Notre Dame has consumed more Jell-O shots than Texas.
Yeah.
And then Texas
by
A&M.
By a wide margin, mind you, like over 100 more.
And then Texas A&M's there at 585. I'm disappointed there as well. Maybe they're just a little too polite. That's sort of their thing.
Howdy and all that stuff.
Yeah. But look, Texas at 215, Oklahoma at 337. You're coming in the league. You got to realize what it is into which you are coming. Are we bringing another Missouri into the league?
In terms of Jell-O shot consumption.
Richer Missouri?
Yeah.
Is that what's coming here? Boy. But it's an Arkansas Ole Miss race for the Jell-O shot challenge lead. And tonight as well, about 23 minutes away from first pitch. Muse, who you like?
I like the Rebs tonight, man. I like Hunter Elliott, and both teams have a pretty rested bullpen, but I'll go Hunter Elliott. He's been on fire.
I'm going to check the DraftKings Sportsbook app and see who they have favored in this ball game tonight, because I do agree. I like Hunter Elliott in the matchup. I like that the Rebs are hot. I also have now watched Arkansas bludgeon two teams in Omaha, and I feel kind of stupid going against them. Arkansas is favored at the DraftKings Sportsbook at minus $1.30, but that's some good value on Ole Miss plus $1.10. You gotta lay a little bit there to take the Hogs. You can of course download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Make your bet right now. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Look, if it's College World Series, if it's Major League Baseball, if it's the NHL playoffs, look, the NHL Finals, Game 3 is tonight. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Remember their great promo right now all throughout the NBA Finals. NHL Finals, excuse me. DraftKings is an official sportsbook partner of the Stanley Cup Finals. Bet just $5 on tonight's game or any game during the Stanley Cup Finals. No matter the result, they'll give you $100 in free bets. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Got to use the promo code Baton Rouge. That way they know we sent you, and also that's how you unlock that promo. So again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet just $5 on the hockey game tonight. They'll give you $100 in free bets no matter the outcome. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The official sports betting partner of the Stanley Cup Finals. Now the disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. right, it's after further review. So Otter's coming up here in about 6 minutes from right now. We'll try to get you we'll get some picks on all those games as well. Coming up this week, real quick, if you're just joining us, let me reset. Tons of news today. LSU utility player Will Safford has entered the transfer portal. LSU baseball has gained a transfer commitment today from Jack Pineda, 2-year starter at shortstop at Baylor. Hit over 300 both of his 2 seasons in Baylor. He'll have 1 season remaining to play. He started his career in JUCO for 2 seasons. So LSU loses Will Safford. They gain a commitment from a middle infielder, a 2-year starting shortstop at Baylor. And also of relevance, Stephanie Remp, LSU COO, really Scott Woodward's right hand. She's been hired today as the new athletic director at the University of Nevada. So she'll join the Wolfpack as their AD. In no way surprising, Stephanie Remp's a superstar and has been really kind to us over the years, and wish her all the best. And that's big shoes to fill here in Baton Rouge. So it's a big week, and on Thursday of this week is the NBA draft. I found this interesting. ESPN put out put out power rankings ahead of the draft. And I'm not so much interested in where they have New Orleans. They have New Orleans at 16, but it's more interesting as far as where they are relative to other teams. So even with the Pels at 16, they have them as the 9th best team in the West. That's a pretty big yo right there. They do have them 1 spot ahead of the Lakers, who they have at 17. Phoenix, they have at 7. Remember, the team that had the best record in the NBA this year, they have at 7. So maybe some tumult we'll see this year coming up in the NBA. But the Ringer also put out this was, forgive me, I don't know who did this at the Ringer. I apologize. I just scrolled down too far because I'm framing this up for TV. But the Ringer did their draft needs for every NBA team. And this was interesting. The write-up says the Pelicans don't need anything specific. Of course, the health of Zion Williamson is atop their list, but the roster itself is deep, versatile, and young, led by Brandon Ingram and C.J. McCollum. Though they didn't win the lottery again, they can still win the draft. New Orleans has the 8th pick, which they acquired from the Lakers via the Anthony Davis trade. How about this line? Davis generally plays like he doesn't give a damn anymore, while the Pelicans look complete on paper if Williamson is healthy. They're one of the biggest winners from the 2021 draft with Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and Jose Alvarado, one of the great first, second undrafted hauls in a single class. The way they win in 2022 draft is with a home run. The Pelicans should take a risk on the highest upside player. New Orleans just stormed into the playoffs, took the Suns to 6 games in the first round, and now it could add Zion. The Pelicans will be contending for championships for many years if they can find another star. What a great write-up right there at the Ringer. You can check it out. Draft is on Thursday. We'll see what direction the Pelicans go. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break of the show. When we come back next, little Otter locks, find out what we're betting on tonight. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Tell you every single day about the Baton Rouge General and, of course, their express care locations. You've got the Baton Rouge General Hospital locations, Mid-City, the Bluebonnet campus, of course, the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital, and, of course, their express care locations, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org to learn more. Of course, the Mid-City location reopened amid all of COVID as Baton Rouge General just continues to service the greater Baton Rouge area in every way that they do. brgeneral.org to learn more. Of course, the express care locations are all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Dutchtown, right next to Dutchtown High School. Highland, just through the south gates of LSU. Of course, Nicholson, directly across the street from LSU's campus as well, directly across the street from Tiger Stadium, right next to Torchy's Tacos. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, expanding healthcare in Baton Rouge. It's online, brgeneral.org.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2021 Jeep Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators on our lot now with $5,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Glad to have you aboard with us here. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Bocage Barbershop in Bocage Village. Serving the Bocage, Goodwood, and Town Center area since 1959.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Fantastic. The bubbly is flowing. Popping champagne over here, celebrating that 33-1 ticket on Tipsy to win the U.S. Open. Hello.
Wait,
That's a good Father's Day.
You had a ticket on Fitzgerald. How about that? Or Fitzpatrick. What was his name?
Tipsy.
Whatever, Fitzpatrick. The kid I'd never heard of who won a golf tournament over the weekend and probably will never win again.
So we had our golf contributors last week had three consensus picks, three common picks. Fitzpatrick, Zalatoris, and Xander Schauffele. And they, we had two of the top three. So a good position to be in. So very, very good weekend for the golf guys, especially Wes Reynolds, who had both of those.
Congrats, man. So, I did play. Yeah. I listened to you guys. I must have missed the Fitzy pick because I had Zalatoris. And I was really, really bummed when he missed that putt on 18 by an inch.
The kid played, so good.
Yeah.
He's, it was both of them. For U.S. Open, which is the toughest course, that they designed for the majors. He gets 17 of 18 greens. That's just unheard of. And so, hey, man, he loves that course. He played with no hesitation. It was great TV. It was great TV. And how about a shout out to Rolex for finally giving us a commercial-free golf. My goodness, they loaded down with commercials with the NBC coverage.
Everybody complained about that coverage all weekend, man.
Okay, Colucci fired in.
Oh, yes!
He's going with... little small play on the chance. Tampa Bay. Small play.
It's the Stanley Cup Finals. It's a small plays.
You want a big one? I'll give you the big one. Me and Handy been eyeing this one down for quite some time. Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Okay.
So both of the favorites
I'm
are
sorry.
out.
Wait, real quick. So Colucci has Tampa Bay.
Tampa small.
Okay,
Reading
Tampa
it
small.
verbatim.
Okay, Tampa small.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Hunter Elliott, the left-hander freshman from Tupelo. He came in Coral Gables and threw 5 scoreless innings. He went to Hattiesburg. He threw 7. And it's not just that. This is the nastiest stuff going. I mean, he is unbelievable. He gets the start. They kept the rotation, although he's been more effective. They throw the upperclassmen against Auburn. He pitched his behind off. Now Ole Miss has a huge pitching matchup in this one. They're actually even money or plus a little money some places, and Arkansas money continues to flow in. Zach Morris and McIntyre both expected to start, but the Arkansas chooses Zach Morris. It's only his second start ever. Redshirt sophomore left-hander, 6-0 with a 1.89 ERA. He's a one-time through the order of reliever. He did throw 3 1/3 scoreless in Game 7 in Stillwater when they were scoring 50 runs a game.
Yeah.
So he calmed that thing down. And McIntyre should throw also. He was very good in the Super Regional, the clincher in Chapel Hill, 5 2/3. But this is a huge, huge assignment for them. Ole Miss, major advantage on the mound. This is a line that's just flat out wrong. Ole Miss should be a substantial favorite in this game tonight. They're actually even or plus low money.
All right, Otter giving us Ole Miss on the money line. You got any MLB tonight?
I'm so focused right now. I've been drinking champagne for the last 2 days, so celebrating. We're just focusing on this Ole Miss tonight,
All
and I'm
right.
going to have a little bit on. I'm going to have a little bit on the on Tampa, on the light Colucci. You ever heard of Colucci?
By the way, that just
he had Colorado the first 2 games.
I know, and I won money. But just since we've been talking, I've seen Arkansas go from $1.30 to $1.20 at DraftKings.
Well, it's finally because it had been just trending Arkansas the whole day, minus 15, minus 18, so now finally a little bite. Hey man, where it's out? Where it's out? People listen to the AFR. I'm telling you.
Should I? So I just did make a bet for Ole Miss at $1.10. That's now dropped to $1. So like even money. Should I play it again?
At what do you get? What price you getting Ole Miss right now?
Plus 100. So $1.
I would take. Yeah. Even money to anything plus money is what you should be able to find some of your outs. We're getting plus 105. I think at Bet Rivers.
Okay. All right. Where are you, Otter?
Rouge Creole. My dad, my son, we all came here. My niece to brunch yesterday for Father's Day.
Awesome.
That was nice. So we're back over here today. Just can't get enough. A Rouge Creole in Perkins Road.
Awesome.
But that's it, man. Big TVs in the bar, watching games. We're getting ready to hunker down. Mincy will have the hog hat on. We'll be shouting at him. So.
Doing Jello shots and whatnot.
He said, oh, man, and he's asking his fans to give me the word. I mean, worse than steak. I mean, it's Arkansas. I mean, they're brutal on me. So they're gonna be hunting his behind down.
Otter, have a great show. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Matt.
All
Appreciate
right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com or the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, celebrating 75 years in business. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, and rent products you use to weigh and measure. I highly, highly, highly recommend getting to the website. You'll see all the different services that they provide. And also, if you're looking for a career, go to Michelli.com, hit the careers tab right there on the homepage, and you'll see what jobs they have available. And now you can start your career with an innovative company that even at 75 years old is still primed for growth. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, Muse, what did you learn today?
Ryan Kelly's daughter has a sense of humor.
Muse likes Grace Kelly a little bit. He blushes when he
It
talks
was funny.
He blushes when he talks about Grace Kelly.
I don't know about all that, but it was funny.
You want me to see if I can get your contact?
I'm good, thank you.
You gotta tell me if you had an opportunity to shoot your shot, you wouldn't shoot your shot.
Oh, I mean, the shot would be, yeah, we'd shoot or shoot, Matt. I mean, that always, yeah.
Paulie, would you learn?
I learned that Ole Miss is making a comeback in this jello shot race.
They are. It'll be fascinating to see how that plays out.
What did you learn, Matt?
LSU landed a transfer from Baylor, and Stephanie Remp is off to Nevada. Muso, Paulie, thanks. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com, bumper-to-bumper auto service, and name brand tires at wholesale prices, ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. Yes, I always tell you, you can buy name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shawbills will always work with combining the manufacturer's offer with their own in-house deals to get you the best possible price for the best tires on the road. Michelin, BF Goodrich, Firestone, Bridgestone, you'll see it all at ShawbillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab. You can learn more. But the thing that sets Shawbills apart is always our customer service. They treat you like family. Too many people, you don't know what's under the hood of your car. You have to go to someone you trust is going to do right by you. That's what Shawbills has done for more than 50 years. ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Queen is holding court.
Thank you, darling.
The brunch is everything. The mimosa is a Vizzy hard seltzer. The vibe is good. Vizzy Mimosa is a vibe.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing.